does feel good. Yep.
You need it on today. It's cold.
Yeah, I've got my phone off. I said I've got my phone off, but I got my mic on. Because it's already 6 o'clock.
It's Monday. It was Monday. It's okay. It's busy.
Oh, that's too bad.
Senior scholarships, FAFSA complete, all the things. It's a hot mess.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, February the 12th, 2024. We'd like to welcome everyone joining us in the audience this evening, as well as those who are joining us online. At this time, I'll call on our City Secretary, Ms. Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Ms. Williams,
Here.
Mr. Davis,
Here.
Ms. Page,
Here.
Ms. Hart. Excuse me. Excuse me. Mr. Metter,
Here.
Ms. Matlock.
Here.
All right, we do have a full council this evening, and our invocation and pledge will be led by Councilmember Betty Williams. If everyone will please stand.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight, thanking you for all of your blessings, one of which is to be able to serve the city of Texarkana, Texas, in the capacity of a city council member. It's a great honor, and it can be a great service to our community, and we hope that we'll always be a great service to the community. We ask you to be with our other leaders in the city and give them guidance. Be with the leaders of our country also. We ask you to be with any in our community that are sick, ill in any way. And we ask you to help us to be a light within our community. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, we'll have our report, Texarkana Regional Airport Quarterly Report. We were brought this evening by Mr. Paul Merlick, who is the airport director. And Paul, thank you for being with us this evening, and we look forward to your report. Hope things are going well out at the airport.
Absolutely. So one thing I do want to say up front, we are currently on schedule to do the ribbon cutting for the terminal building on June 28th. The only thing that will really change that date is we've reached out to both of the governors on the Arkansas and Texas side to ask if they can be in attendance, and certainly we want to try to work out around their schedules, but they don't book more than 30 days out. So we'll try to give them an update, but we're going to hold that for now. So 2023, we had 23,000 operations. An operation is either a landing or a takeoff. This has been less than it had been pre-COVID. We'd had kind of a flight training out there. We are working with Texarkana College to, as soon as the airframe and power plant school is started, that they will then work on having a flight school portion as part of that program as well. Their intent is to operate out of the old terminal building. So we'll have a tenant for that as well, and we should see those numbers start to come back. For emplanements, we had 43,224. This was actually the best year that we have had since 1999, so we were very excited about that. Parking revenue had been up. We really saw a boost throughout the holiday season. We'd been advertising throughout it, and so we can't say how much of that 19% was from advertising and how much of it is just that continued recapturing from COVID, but definitely we've seen some continued growth, and this is before we have the terminal open, so we're very excited about that. We're hoping that continues through this year. Rental car revenue, it was only down a little bit from the previous year. It has been continued to be much better than it was pre-COVID. Our load factor is a number that the airlines use to determine kind of profitability of the airplane itself. This number has been kind of a strange one because prior to COVID, we had aircraft that were 50 passengers, and now we have an aircraft that's 65 passengers. And so load factor is just essentially how full is the airplane. So despite having more passengers flying through, we've had lower load factor numbers. As a result of that, if you look at our schedule right now, you can see we currently have 2 flights a day. That is because January, February tend to be our slowest time, and then that starts to pick back up for the summer. So we'll be watching that. However, February 15th, we will be going to a larger airplane. It's still 65 seats, but it will be the ERJ 170, which then has more first-class seating and has bathrooms in both the front and the back. So that starts later this week. And then landing fee revenue, this was something that we started after the pandemic had started. Basically, aircraft that are over 12,500 pounds pay a $2 per 1,000-pound landing fee. And this has then created a new revenue source for us of the jet traffic that we have coming in. Then our total revenues were $3.4 million. This is always kind of skewed because we do get a lot of grants, such as the Small Community Air Service Development Grant that initially goes into our operating maintenance budget, and we just transfer that over to our capital. So the revenue minus out what was actually just from the grants was $2.4 million. That was still more than we were expecting. Our expenditures were right at about $2 million, so we only went over a little bit. Part of that was due to some damage that was done when the water pipes broke in December. We had to do some repairs on that. However, we ended up with a cash positive year. We spoke to the 2 cities since this was an occurrence that had never happened before. We all agree that the intent of the 2 cities helping the airport out is to bring it to a zero budget, not a cash positive budget. And so for the first time ever, the airport will actually be giving a reimbursement to the 2 cities. The Texas side will be receiving a $203,000 reimbursement. One of the things that we also wanted to do moving forward is we are going to create a new account that the two cities, when they pay into, we simply draw down from that account to get our budget to be zero each month, instead of just taking a block payment and ending up with an excess. This will help us be transparent with the two cities about what our expenses are on a monthly basis, and also show that at the end of the year, any excess revenue is easy for us to do a reimbursement at the end of the calendar year for us. Was there any questions for me this evening?
Any questions for Paul?
All right.
Out by the new terminal not too long ago, it really does look nice.
It does.
And then once the parking area and landscaping is put in, it's going to be a very, very nice terminal. I've had a lot of compliments from citizens in the community of the way it looks and everything. So appreciate the great work that you all are doing to get that wrapped up. So.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. This time, move along to Mayor's remarks and items of community interest. Upcoming city council meetings. Our next meeting for this month will be on February the 26th, and then during the month of March, March the 11th and March the 25th will be our dates for our council meetings at 6 p.m. And also on February the 17th, we'll have to have at the Pro Theater the Wheel of Fortune show, so that'll be exciting. And then also we have a poverty simulation learning model. The Texarkana Homeless Coalition will host a poverty simulator on Thursday, February the 29th. This is a leap year, so we do have 29 days this month. That'll be held from 9 a.m. until 12 noon at First Baptist Church, located at 3015 Moores Lane. The experimental learning model is designed to stimulate common everyday experiences among people living in poverty. And if you would like to be a volunteer, a participant, or would like more information, feel free to contact Vachille Fernandez at 903-798-3904. In reference to Parks and Recreation activities, on February the 17th, there will be an NCS softball tournament at Wallace Park. On February the 18th, Run the Line will be hosted by the Partnership for the Pathway. That's Julie Ray and John Harrison's group, and they do a great job a great job of raising funds in the community for our pathways on both sides of the city. And then on February the 22nd and 23rd, Parks and Recreation Fishing Derby. That'll be at Spring Lake Park. And then on the February the 24th is the TYSA softball tournament, and that will be held at Carr Park. And for additional Parks and Recreation information, you can log on to the city's website for more information. I want to thank Council Member Matlock this evening. I was under the weather last week. I had the flu for about the whole week last week, and so I had a couple of events that I was scheduled to attend near the latter part of the week, and Councilmember Matlock, who serves as Mayor Pro Tem, graciously filled in for me at a couple of those events. So Councilmember Matlock, thank you very much for your attendance and representing the city at those events. And I think you were a little nervous, hoping that I would be here tonight. Is that right? So,
I prayed that you would be here today.
Anyway, I expect to make a full recovery. So,
Your wife, I says, he's only missed like one meeting, I think. I said, we both only missed like one, so I think he'll be there.
well, as a matter of fact, I better knock on something. I actually had perfect attendance since 2005. So anyway, I hope that trend continues.
That is wonderful.
Anyway, I do want to thank you, Ms. Matlock, for filling in and attending those events to represent the city. Before we move along to open forum comments from the public, I don't mean to put you all on the spot. We do have representatives in the audience this evening from LifeNet, Alicia and others. And if y'all don't mind, we've got some new folks in new positions. And so if y'all don't mind, if you would just come up and introduce yourselves, all three of you, and tell us a little bit about what's going on at LifeNet and what your roles are now at LifeNet. So come on up.
Thank you so much for this. Today we actually had our CEO is retiring March the 1st, but we went ahead and I assumed the role of CEO as of today, so this is my very first day on the job. I was currently in the CFO role for the last couple of years, so that's been a new change. We also created a new position for all of our operations as a COO position, and Brett Piney has been our area director for Arkansas for the last 2 years, and so he is doing that role as well. And then Darren has been with us forever, and he serves as our area director for our Texas operations, and so I know some of y'all probably recognize him because he comes to this one quite frequently. So I just want to say thank you. We're excited about the future of LifeNet and hope to continue to keep servicing this community. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, just let us know.
Okay. Alicia and I worked together at A&M back at the old campus before the new campus was even constructed. So I enjoyed working with you out there and wish you all the best of luck. And Darren, I see you all the time at various events, and we lived through COVID together, didn't we? As with emergency response team. And so anyway, congratulations, and look forward to working with you all.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for being here. At this time, we'll move along to open forum comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. If you are here, however, to speak on behalf of one of our public hearing items, I ask that you'll please wait until we get to that particular item. We'll be more than happy to listen to your remarks at that time. And we also ask that you complete one of the sheets that are located on the rack there on the wall next to the door. So, Ms. Evans, did we have any sheets completed or turned in? Okay. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? Yes, sir. What we can do, if you'll go ahead, you can come forward. And if you come over to the microphone, sir, and please state your name for the record. You will have up to 5 minutes. And then if you don't mind, after you complete your remarks, if you don't mind just getting one of those
form
sheets.
and fill it out.
Yes, sir, filling it out and turning it in to the city secretary so we'll have a written record of your presence.
Okay, which one? Okay.
Okay. And if you'll please state your name for the record, and we thank you for coming to our meeting this evening.
My name is William Jones. I'd like to bring something up to the city council's attention, and you might want to talk to the chief of police about this too. It seems that the cab company is running around. There's no meters in their vehicles. I've been told, now I've drove a cab, and told if I didn't have a meter in the vehicle, it's a $250 ticket for high flagging. I took one cab from Texas Walmart to the Sands Motel, was charged $14. For something like that, it'd been $6 or $7. They told people, they picked up a guy down here at the public library one Sunday, $25 to go out to where a Greyhound bus station is. That's too much. They're not running no meters in them cabs, and something kind of needs to be done about it. So I'm bringing this up to the city council's attention. I'm going to let them handle it.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll certainly, we have the staff here this evening, and they'll certainly look into that because that does require a permitting as far as our cab service in the city, and we thank you for bringing that to our attention, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for being here. Yes, sir. All right, if you don't mind, if you'll grab a sheet. All right, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening? Sir, on the other side. On the other side. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council this evening? Okay, if not, we'll move along to our next item, which is appointments to boards, commissions, and communities. Excuse me, boards, commissions, and committees. Do we have any appointments to be made this evening? Do you need something to write with, or you got it? Okay, very good. All right. Okay, hearing none, we'll move along to items for consideration. We do have several items this evening on the consent agenda. We have a total of 4. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on January 22nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. Item 2 is resolution number 2024-018, renewing and approving a municipal maintenance agreement and amendment number 1 with the state of Texas for the maintenance, control, supervision, and regulation of certain state highways and/or portions of state highways in the city. Item number 3 is ordinance number 2024-019, amending budgeted expenditures for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2024 by authorizing a rollover to the general fund, Fund 101, of an unexpended fund balance allocation for one-time use of fund balance of expenditures in the amount of $7,993,029.10 previously approved by the City Council for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023, and authorizing for the current fiscal year at additional allocations of one-time use of fund balance from the General Fund, Fund 101, in the aggregate amount of $2,744,215.03 for improvements to the Bi-State Justice Building, Wallace Park, and Bringle Lake Trail and Bike System. Item 4 is resolution number 2024-020, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract to repair the Wright-Patman Water Treatment Plant low service pump in the amount of $85,705. This amount is budgeted and will be paid from the Lake Texarkana Water Supply Corporation Fund. Unless a council member would like to pull one item or more items for further consideration, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been approved. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. We do have two items this evening under the category of first briefings. Item 1 is ordinance number 2024-016, amending ordinance number 2015-029 for a TERS agreement for Caldera 1 East in the TERS number 1 district and providing a map of agreed upon properties on which to base reimbursement. We will have a public hearing on this item as well as the following item on February the 26th and council consideration at that same time. And Lisa Thompson will be briefing the council on this item. Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As you stated, this is an ordinance we want to amend for the first TERS agreement we signed in, TERS number 1. It was back in 2015. The council approved it. It was the extension of Gibson Lane from Pleasant Grove Road to Kings Highway. And we want to amend it to add a map that will help us calculate reimbursements because we didn't do it then. We need to be more specific now so we can point out exactly which properties count in the agreement. Staff recommends approval. I'm happy to answer any questions, and Richard Reynolds is here to represent the developer as well if you have questions for him.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds, thank you for your attendance, sir. All right. Any questions by the council on this item? Okay, thank you, Lisa. Item number 2 is resolution number 2024-022, authorizing the city manager to terminate the current natural resource damage assessment known as the NRDA interlocal agreement and directing staff to work with the NRDA trustees on restoration alternatives. And Keith Beeson will be briefing the council on this item. Good evening, Keith.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you for giving me this time. The Natural Resource Damage Assessment Grant was a grant that we were awarded in 2020. It's a $9.8 million grant to work on the creek system in Texarkana. We have been previously working with a design engineering company that the trustees that oversee this project and that we've worked with very closely decided that they wanted to change design firms, and that's really the reason for the termination of this agreement. The agreement and the funds are intended to stay here in Texarkana, and we will work with the trustees on this grant to see what's feasible for our creek projects moving forward. So the only real change is just the engineering firm that we'll be working with that will work on the design for us.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Any questions for Keith on this item? Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. At this time, move along to our public hearings. We do have 4 public hearings scheduled this evening. And on the item number 1, before I open the floor for the open comment, Laura Puckett from the city staff wants to provide some additional remarks to the council. So let me go ahead and read the caption first. Item 1 is ordinance number 2024-007, amending PD-05-7 for site plan approval on an approximate 4-acre tract of land being parts of tracts 71, 71B, 71A, and 71C. George Brindley Headright Survey A-18, located at 1 Roundabout Way. Cheney Pruitt owner, Kayla Wood, MTG Engineers and Surveyors, agent. And council, we have this item on your agenda for consideration this evening as well as council vote. Before I open up the public hearing, Laura's going to provide some additional information. Good evening, Laura.
Good evening. Thank you, Council, Mayor. I believe you were originally briefed on this item in January, and you may have tabled the item. I just wanted to let you know that the owner and the engineer made some significant changes to the site plan. It required them to go back through planning and zoning to get approval, which they did get. I just wanted to let you know that the site plan sort of changed the flow. Originally, it was more of a cul-de-sac looking drive. Now the driveway flows through the property and onto the property north of that, which I believe is the Oaks Independent Living. It added one building to the project, but those were the changes made. And I believe it had something to do with drainage. If you have questions, Kayla Wood is here that can answer anything about the drainage.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you, Laura. Any questions for Laura, or Kayla in reference to this matter? Okay, all right, thank you for your information. Kayla, thank you for being here this evening as well. At this time, I declare the public hearing open on ordinance number 2024-007. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Alcorn. Councilmember Page, pardon me. Living back in the past, wasn't I? Councilmember Page. All right, Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending PD-05-7 GR for site plan approval on an approximate 4-acre tract of land being part of tracts 71, 71B, 71A, and 71C, George Brindley, HRS A-18, located at 1 Roundabout Way in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion passes unanimously. Moving along to item number 2, resolution number 2024-010, approving amendment number 4 to the city's agreement with Waste Management of Texas Incorporated, including changes to residential waste and bulky waste collection. And before I open the public hearing on this item, we have Mr. Jared Miller with Waste Management, who is here this evening. Jared, do you have any remarks you would like to make, sir? Or? Okay, so does anyone have a question for Mr. Miller relating to this item? All right, so if not, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Are you wanting to speak on behalf of the item? Yes, sir. Okay, let me open the public hearing, and then we'll be more than happy to listen to your comments. So at this time, I declare the public hearing open on resolution number 2024-010. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. So, ma'am, please feel free to come forward. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Howard, and my
Good
question...
evening, Ms. Howard. We're glad to have you with us.
My deal is, I live on a dead end in Beverly, on Lumpkin Street, and they have changed the way the trash truck come now. We was told to put our trash across the street in the neighbor's yard. Okay, now, I don't have anybody in front of me, but the other residents have neighbors across from them. It's been a confusion. One of the neighbors got cursed out last week, and it's gonna have a problem, because if I put my trash in your yard and a dog decide to jump on the trash can and have trash all over the yard, how would you feel my trash in your yard? So I don't understand I've been there 47 years, and this never happened. Okay, the way the trash truck come, it bags in on 100 block of Lumpkin. And they say they have a new trash truck out with a level arm on the right hand of the truck. Okay, but when it back in, that means I'm on the left side of the truck, so I have to put my trash across the street every Tuesday morning or Monday night for them to pick it up on Tuesday. So it's becoming a problem with the neighbors across the street. Like I say, one got cursed out last week, and it's gonna either be when we keep putting trash in the other neighbor yard, it could be a shooting or anything. You know, people don't want nobody else trash in their yard. So I don't know what, out of the 47 years I've been over there, what's going on now with this. And it's only on Lumpkin Street because last week I followed the trash truck on the other dead ends and it don't happen on their end.
Okay, so when you mention the fact that when it says, quote, placing your trash in a neighbor's yard, are you referring to like in their yard or in the street next to the curb?
But it could be in the street, but I have nobody in front of me, so it's just some vacant lot.
Vacant
So
lot.
I put mines, because the streets are so narrow. And if you come down through there and somebody on the right side of the street, which will probably be at my house, on the left side, they were coming down the street. They won't be able to come straight down to the right. They have to come over a little to the left. Well, if you got a trash can sitting in the street, they can't get through or something like that.
Okay.
So I wonder when it started to handle trash like that.
Okay. Mr. Miller is going to come forward and provide us
Okay.
some information on that. So, ma'am, is there anything else you would like to say? No, sir. Okay, all right. Well, thank you for being here. Mr. Miller?
Yes, so we've just made a mistake. You kind of gave me some good information to get back. You follow our truck. Did you see us do it anywhere else?
No.
We shouldn't have been doing it there. So it's that simple.
You talking about backing in?
No, well, we can either back in or send another truck. So what we'll do is I'm gonna let them know your address and we'll quit doing it. Yeah, on a dead end, we're not gonna be doing that. And I don't know why we're doing that one. It's just, we made a mistake.
It's a new truck they have out.
No, I understand that, but we're not gonna be doing it. We're not gonna be moving cans. So what's your address?
105
Lumpkin, okay, 105. So yeah, we can get that fixed. We're not perfect. We've been rolling it out already because we're going to be using that style truck no matter what we do. No matter how we change collection, we'll use this truck or use two styles of trucks. But in this case, dead ends are, like I'll give you a good example. On the 9 dead ends on Westline, everybody familiar with that? We can't back a truck, well, first, let me back up here. We can't have everybody move their cans to one side of the street. Because like you said, it's somebody else's house. We can't ask you to put it in front of their driveway where they have cars blocked. So we're not gonna do that. We have the old style truck that's still gonna continue to run the route that way. And then you may wonder, well, how's that gonna be efficient for you? Well, this is why we're still gonna be running a bulk truck. So the bulk truck runs the bulk at all the houses right now, and then they go back and run the streets that we can't use with the new style truck. Because as you said, the grabber is on the right side of the truck, so if it's on a dead end, we can only pick up that one side. So yeah, we'll get that fixed. That was just a mistake on our part. Because I've said this all the time, we're not perfect. We'll fix our mistakes and apologize for it and move on.
So, Mr. Miller, I know I've seen the new style truck mainly lifting the cart for household garbage. So will that same type of truck be used for the recyclable carts as well?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes,
so
we're gonna use that for recycle as well. But again, just like on the 9 dead ends on Westline or your address, we'll run another type of truck through there as well.
okay, and so then the trucks that will be picking up the green waste, will that still be a rear
It'll still be a rear load truck.
rear
yes.
load truck? Okay, because of various types of green waste.
Okay, I've got one of those.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, did you get your question answered, ma'am? Okay, all right, very good. All right, thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
appreciate your information. We'll just make that a win-win, all right? So,
right.
public hearing is still open. If anyone else would like to address the council on this item, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Okay, at this time, I will declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the resolution?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Matlock and a second by Councilmember Hart. This item pertains to a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes. Item number 3 is ordinance number 2024-011, amending PD-01-10 for site plan approval on Lot 1, Texarkana Shopping Center subdivision located at 4110 St. Michael Drive. Suzanne Russo for Home Depot, owner, Cassie Permenter, agent. At this time, we'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward. Thank you, Jared. Okay. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, we'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Page, a second by Councilmember Davis. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending PD-01-10C for site plan approval on Lot 1, Texarkana Shopping Center subdivision located at 4110 St. Michael Drive in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. We have one more public hearing item. It relates to item 4, ordinance number 2024-012, amending PD-20-6 for site plan approval on Lot 1, Richmond Moores subdivision located at 5605 Richmond Road. GVH Moores LLC owner and Kayla Wood, MTG Engineers and Surveyors agent. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward at this time. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hart. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending PD-20-6 GR for site plan approval on Lot 1, Richmond Moores subdivision located at 5605 Richmond Road in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. This completes our public hearings portion of the agenda. We'll now move along to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few updates to pass along to you tonight. First off, a sales tax update. So sales tax receipts for the month of January, which are November sales, totaled $1.8 million. This is an increase of 4.27% compared to the same month in the prior year. Our fiscal date year collections totaled $3.4 million. That's an increase of a little over 30,000 compared to last year. Just as a reminder, our budgeted fiscal year-end 2024 numbers show an increase of 2% over the prior year. Also, just wanted to give you a quick update on our annual Texas Youth Advisory Commission Summit. So as part of the recently formed Texarkana Youth Advisory Council, we sent 9 students, council members, and staff to the annual retreat that was held last weekend in Lewisville, Texas. The conference was very informative, and we had representation from across the state of Texas. And so our youth council will be at the next meeting on February 26th to give a full report to the council. And I just want to say a special thanks to Chiquita Burks for organizing this year's trip, and for council members Matlock and Page for attending the summit. And then just one final update. We have a save the date for tomorrow. Our quarterly police awards ceremony will take place at 2 p.m. at the Special Operations Training Facility. That's it.
All right. Thank you, David. Appreciate that report. We'll now move along to administrative comments. Any comments from the council this evening to the staff? Okay, very good. And then, David, any final?
No additional comments.
Additional comments? Okay, very good. So, 38 minutes, not bad. Don't hold me to that for every council meeting now. So, anyway, but unless there's other business brought before the council, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much for being here. Certainly hope you have a great evening, and don't forget about Valentine's Day. That's Wednesday. Very important day. Very important. Have a good evening. I know. You got too many.